A very good morning to my dear students of class 8th. I welcome you all to this new class of social science where in civics we are doing the third chapter, why do we need a parliament? And today we will complete the explanation of the chapter. Children, in the previous class we saw what was the role of government, people and their representatives, why should people decide. Now let us see what is the function of parliament. After formation, the parliament needs to perform the major following functions. Number one, to select the national government. Number two, to control and guide and inform the government. And number three, the lawmaking. Okay, let us see them in detail. Number one, to select the national government. The parliament in India, children, consists of the president, the Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha, right? So we will see what are these specifically. The Lok Sabha. Now for a political party to form a government in Lok Sabha, they must have the majority of elected MPs. We all have been seeing in the Lok Sabha elections when a party, BJP has won the last time's election with majority. The majority, there is some limit defined. For example, there are 543 elected members in Lok Sabha plus 2 nominated to have a majority, and a party should have at least 272 members or more. If a political party after election during the result gets 272 seats, then the party will come in full-fledgedly mainstream and form the government. The party doesn't need to combine or align up with any other political party and form the government. So minimum 272 seats they should win during election. Next, about Lok Sabha is the Prime Minister of India is the leader of the ruling party only in the Lok Sabha. The Prime Minister always has to be the leader of the ruling political party. Now, from the MPs, children who belong to that party, the Prime Minister selects the ministers to work with him or her into different categories and perform different decisions. For example, if BJP had won last time, then all the departments like health department, railways, then education department, human resource ministry, then petroleum ministry, then the most important defense and every other department, the ruling parties candidates will be allotted and they will combine and make the government well, and they will perform different and implement different decisions, right? So this was all about Lok Sabha. Let us come to Rajya Sabha, which talks about the state. Again, break the word in social science. Rajya means state. Alright. So the Rajya Sabha functions primarily as the representative of the states in India. Again, the Rajya Sabha is the collective representative of the state in the country. Then Rajya Sabha can also initiate legislation, and a bill is required to pass through the Rajya Sabha in order to become a law. For example, if from the central or in the Lok Sabha people have decided to bring in some law, for example NRC and everything, it wouldn't have been implemented. Mind it, children, it wouldn't have been implemented unless this bill was passed from Rajya Sabha. Alright, Rajya Sabha also has to pass or approve that bill to further get it done or perform into a final decision, or in order to become a law, because now it has become a law, NRC and everything, isn't it? So the members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected members of the legislative assemblies of various states. There are 233 elected members plus 12 members nominated by the president. Now, the next feature, to control, the next function, to control, guide and inform the government, right? The parliament, while in session, begins with a question hour. When we see the parliament session begins, it always begins with one question hour. The first hour of the session is a question hour. Through question hour, the MPs can bring out information about the working of the government. Suppose the session has begun, then this session beginning 1 hour will be for question hour. All the MPs sitting in the Lok Sabha, they will bring out the working strategies of the government and it will be discussed. Now, the opposition party highlights the drawbacks of the ruling party. All right. The opposition party highlights the drawbacks in various programs, various principles of the ruling party. Now, next feature. This helps in healthy functioning of our democracy. Again, democracy, because democracy is for the government, by the government and of the government. Until and unless the government is being criticized, how will the government get to know that these are major flaws or these are the drawbacks into our policies, and how are they going to check it? So the MPs will criticize and it will be brought into action. They will have a discussion and all the important matters dealing with finance and everything will be discussed. Now the last part of this is the MPs as representative of the people have a central role, because all the MPs from all the constituencies, remember I explained each constituency, each member. So all the MPs are the collective voice of their area, and therefore these MPs are controlling, guiding and informing the parliament. Right? Let us come to the third function of the parliament, which is law making. All right, how laws are made. It is only the parliament which makes the laws. Law making is a significant function in the parliament. New laws which keep on coming, children. The new laws which keep on coming. For example, in earlier times, dowry was not a law. Now, strict action is being taken on dowry. Dowry is Dahej. So, as time passes, people get to experience something. They raise their voices and it reaches the government. Hence, a new law is being passed. So, all the laws are being passed and being framed in the parliament. Now, the last topic of the chapter is who are the people in the parliament, right? Number one, the parliament has people from different backgrounds. It is not a ruling country's government. It is a democratic form of government taking together all the citizens. So the members of the parliament belong to different backgrounds, no matter Brahmins, no matter Kshatriyas, no Dalits, Shudra, every background. Okay. Now there are rural members as well, members from regional parties. The regional parties also hold the place in constituency. Therefore, regional background and all different isolated remote areas, people come from there and they become the part of the parliament. There has been an increase in political participation from Dalit and backward caste and the minorities. Seeing the marginalization, seeing the discrimination against the Dalits and the higher caste, we as the government, they have been improvised with more number of people from these backward caste and they become the MPs and they become and form the part of parliament. All right. Some seats are reserved in the parliament for SCs, STs to give a fair advantage historically to marginalized sector, to marginalized. So this sector has been given some importance by the parliament. Therefore, every background is being given equal importance. With this, we come to an end to the chapter. Children, I hope the chapter is understood, and please listen to the video, and with this I am going to attach the questions and answers which you need to do in your copies. And from after tomorrow's class, we will be beginning with the last chapter of the syllabus of subjective assessment 1, which is land, water, resources, chapter 2 of geography. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.